everyone! So right now I'm waiting for the walk sign to change, if that's what it's called. But yeah, I'm waiting for it to change and I'm standing right across from the Com Arts building. Okay, so now I'm walking and I'm going to go watch a lecture, attend a lecture, and it's gonna be about some global economies and how that. Oh, and it's like about Google and how it's like the number one search engine, and then they're gonna talk about how that affects a bunch of things and governmental policies and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go in and I'll see you inside.
Here are a couple pictures of some of the slides that he presented, and he started with a big thanks and then went on to some graphs and formulas, and then they thanked him. On to the debriefing.
Hi everyone. So I just got out of the lecture, and so the official title was Domination in Search Markets and Why, How, and How to Respond. And it was by Steve Wildman, and he's a professor in the Media and Information Department in the College of Communication, Arts and yeah. Okay, and he's written a couple books, and he's actually moving to Colorado in the summer, and so I think this is one of his last talks. So even though I've never been to his other ones, I'm really glad I was able to go to this one and just get maybe a hint of his knowledge and research that he's done at this university. And so the way they started off the talk is they actually just gave thanks to a bunch of people. One of the professors here, who is a coworker of Mr. Wildman, or yeah, Dr. Wildman, he gave a lot of thanks to him for all throughout the years and doing so much work and really supporting the department. And so this talk was actually sponsored by the Kello Center, and I've never heard of that, and I have yet to do more research, but it was just really interesting to see the department members really encourage each other and so on. And yeah, you could tell it was a very strong working environment where everyone was they knew each other more than just work, but on a personal level, and that was really nice to see, especially because people don't always have a good working environment. But yep. And throughout the talk, the reason why I went was because it said it was on economics and policy, and they said they will go into politics a little bit, so that's why I went, because it said politics. But they didn't really talk about that. It was more on his research and what he did to come to the information that was about domination in search markets. And so the talk mostly talked about Google and how it dominates the search market and kind of the factors that lead to that, and how maybe we could change that, or what could change that. And so it was interesting. As you saw in the pictures, there are some equations and graphs, and apparently there's a quote by Stephen Hawking that's like, if you with one graph you lose like 20% of your audience or something like that. So it's really true. At some point I was kind of lost, because it's just that level of knowledge I don't have, and just some of the terms were new to me, and he did a very good job in explaining those, but it was so hard. And yeah, so that was kind of the talk. But I think what I got most out of it was kind of more of the interaction between people rather than the talk itself, because like you said, I just didn't know as much, which is okay. I mean, maybe one day I'll get there. But it was really just an interaction between people, and especially in the beginning and the end, people were just continuously thanking each other and really supporting each other. And even during the questions, when colleagues challenged Dr. Wildman, it was it was with a lot of care. And yeah, so it was just interesting to see that. And I guess through this talk, I kind of learned, like, policy means different things to different people, and just I guess terms in general, it's very different. And I guess that kind of challenged my way of thinking, because I mean, we all basically, when we were babies, it's all about us, and I think that kind of mentality continues throughout our lifetime. And this talk and just this environment in general was a really good way for me to remember that, like, my experiences aren't exactly like someone else, but experiences that someone else has, and I need to keep that in mind. And I also noticed that as you gain more knowledge, lectures go from receiving information to noticing what isn't presented. So when I heard some of the questions, I didn't really have questions because I was just kind of like stunned by all the information. So that was me receiving the information as a student, or just as someone who isn't as knowledgeable in that field. But when it was the open question time, his colleagues asked him some questions, and they were mostly talking about information that isn't presented and how maybe that would affect his research. And so it was very interesting to see that. And because other lectures that I went to, there were a lot of students, and there were only a couple adults or other professors, but this one was different, where, like I said, the department was really supportive of Dr. Wildman and his works, and also it was like his last talk. So it was just a very special event in a way. And so, yeah, I think that is about it for this vlog. It's strange how all my events recently have been like, I go and it's really not what I expect, and I kind of have to interpret things in a different way. But I think that's better, because it's really challenging the way I think and maybe the way I approach events or other stuff. So yeah, it was really interesting. I'm really glad I went, and this is another really long vlog, but thank you so much for listening and tuning in. And I will see you guys in my weekly vlog.